So I've been seeing this narrative going around that some people are saying that they don't like that Roman Reigns was able to fight Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga at the same time before Jacob Fatu snuck him, and then ultimately they ended up annihilating Roman Reigns. And the reason that I'm hearing that people don't like this idea that Roman is like this super Roman character and that he can fight everybody on his own is because they're saying that during his title reign, Roman Reigns was never able to win on his own. So why would he be booked this strongly right now? Because he could never win. He always had to cheat. And it doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't sit right with me because, yes, I've stated and I've acknowledged on this channel that Roman Reigns' last 2 years of his title reign was a lot of cheating, a lot of interference, a lot with the Bloodline coming to save him, rescue him, especially WrestleMania 39. We all know it. I understand that. Which is why I made the video saying that I was happy that WWE is finally booking him in a strong role where he's actually dominant on his own. But now people are saying that he shouldn't be dominant because he wasn't dominant as a champion. And I'm just starting to think that people forget who Roman Reigns is. They said he never was able to do it without help. And if you think that, if you say that, notice I said the last 2 years of his reign, you must be forgetting who Roman Reigns is, bro. So I'm here to remind you. So let's take this back to the start of Roman Reigns' return at SummerSlam 2020. And this is where it gets me, because Roman and Solo are on completely different levels, completely different fields. And everybody in Solo's bloodline, again, on a completely different level, much below Roman Reigns. Let's remind you, Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam 2020, attacking The Fiend. And who was with him? Who was with Roman Reigns? That man was by himself. He came out and he destroyed and dominated The Fiend by himself, right? Since y'all say he only ever was able to win things or do things with help. But we're going to move past that. After that, who did Roman Reigns align himself with? Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a freaking manager who doesn't do nothing, who at most will distract the referee or maybe pull the rope so Roman could get his foot on it or hand on it or something like that, like anything, bro. But when it was him and Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns had no bloodline. And that's what I want to talk about. The fight that Roman Reigns had to get to actually develop a bloodline that Solo Sikoa never had to do. He has not had to do this. So Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, his first rivalry was Jey Uso, right? We know who was in Roman's bloodline. It was Jey Uso, it was Jimmy Uso, it was Sami Zayn, it was Solo Sikoa. When it's Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, it's not the bloodline. It's Roman and his manager. When it became Roman with Jey and Jimmy, which is the initial bloodline, Roman Reigns had to fight for that. Roman Reigns went out and he literally had all this beef with Jey, all this tension with Jey, trying to get his family to fall in line, to get his family to see him and acknowledge him as the tribal chief. He had to fight for acknowledgement. He literally fought for acknowledgement. And what happened? He had 2 matches with Jey, right? 2 matches with Jey. The first one, he demolished him completely by himself. Absolutely no help whatsoever, with no bloodline. He didn't have a bloodline. And then the second match was the Hell in the Cell match, in which he made Jey quit by choking out Jimmy and faking him out. Again, he had no bloodline. This is the bloodline right here that he is destroying. This is the bloodline. He's beating them down to create the team. So after he beats Jey at Hell in a Cell, Jey finally falls in line and does what Roman says. But he did not do that without Roman earning that right, without Roman establishing that, yo, I'm much better than you. I'm way more dominant than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm a better wrestler than you. I'm on top. I'm the head of the table. If you don't want to realize that, I'm a beat your ass, and you're going to realize it after this. And he did exactly that. So then Jimmy didn't want to fall in line. Roman didn't have to have a rivalry with Jimmy where they actually had to fight each other, but Jimmy was still opposed to it. And there was still a lot of beef in the family, and they had to go through like a whole bunch of stuff in order for Jimmy to finally say, all right, fine, I'm cool, I'm down, whatever, right? But there was resistance, and Roman was beating people at the beginning of this reign by himself. Literally, that's how the reign started, by himself. And if you want to go back, let's just go forward actually to after he formed the Bloodline. Let's just say after he formed the Bloodline, right? WrestleMania 38, when Roman Reigns unified the titles, the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, he fought Brock Lesnar. How did that match end? How did it end? Roman Reigns fought Brock Lesnar. He had dislocated his shoulder. Brock picks Roman Reigns up for an F5. And then after he picks him up, Roman slips out. He pushes him against the rope. Spear. 1, 2, 3. Clear win. Clear, clean win. It's a clean win. Against Brock Lesnar. Against Brock Lesnar. Who is beating Brock Lesnar clean for the most part outside of Roman Reigns? Name a single person in Solo Sikoa's current bloodline that's even messing with Brock Lesnar, let alone enough to beat him clean. And I know everybody's going to talk about Jacob Fatu, Jacob Fatu, Jacob Fatu. And yes, Jacob Fatu was great. Jacob Fatu was strong. That's great. But we've also only seen Jacob Fatu fight people that aren't the caliber of Roman until he just snuck Roman just now. He came and fought him when he snuck him, and then they beat him up in the group. Jacob Fatu hasn't had the one-on-one against somebody Roman's caliber. Jacob Fatu hasn't fought Brock Lesnar one-on-one. He hasn't done any of that. He doesn't have the accolades. And Jacob Fatu is the strongest one in that bloodline by far. Don't tell me Tama Tonga. Don't tell me Tonga Loa. And at this point, don't tell me Solo Sikoa. Because Solo Sikoa hasn't done anything to prove his dominance, to earn the bloodline that he currently has. So yes, Roman fought Jay and Jimmy, and guess what? When Roman beat Jay, what happened? He went to the top of the ramp, and who was there? Alpha and Sika. They were there, and they awarded Roman, or bestowed upon him, the Ula Fala, which acknowledged him as the tribal chief. He was literally given the Ula Fala by the elders of the family. It was bestowed upon him after he fought for his bloodline, after he fought for his seat at the head of the table. Who bestowed the Ula Fala on Solo Sikoa? What elder was there? Who gave it to him? What championship did Solo Sikoa have within his possession? Who on Solo Sikoa's bloodline did he beat up at all? Even one. Name one of them. Name one person in his bloodline that gave him resistance to join. Or what happened? Solo tried to take over Roman's bloodline, and it was Jimmy, so he kicks Jimmy out, and then he brings on Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu, without a single one of them saying, nah, you're not the head of the table. Nah, you're not my tribal chief. Nah, I'm not going to do what you say. They just all fell in line without Solo being a champion. Without Solo having main evented several WrestleManias prior. Solo Sikoa did not work for his bloodline. He did not work for his bloodline at all in any capacity. Roman Reigns worked for his bloodline. I get it. Sami Zayn came later because he thought they was cool. Solo Sikoa came later because he was family. But Roman started out at the very least fighting by himself on his own and proved his dominance. And that's why he was acknowledged as the tribal chief. And if you want to take it further back, Roman been dominant since before being the tribal chief. That's why he main evented WrestleMania so many times. So to sit here and say to me that Roman Reigns shouldn't be able to fight a bunch of background characters by himself that have nowhere near the resume of what he has makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense. If you could let me know just a smidge of who gave Solo Sikoa the right to call himself the tribal chief, who gave him the Ula Fala, or who in his bloodline did he fight to earn the right to be called the tribal chief? Who? What resistance did he face that Roman Reigns faced? What? Name a match that he has won by himself since being the tribal chief. Granted, he hasn't had matches, right? But he had Cody Rhodes. Let's screw the matches. Name a beatdown that he has done on his own to somebody without Jacob Fatu's help, without Tama Tonga's help, without Tonga Loa's help. Because I could tell you Roman Reigns immediately went coming in, swinging and beating people down on his own. Because Roman Reigns fought for his bloodline and Solo Sikoa did not. Point blank period, bro. That's going to be it for the video. I just had to rant to y'all for a little bit because it was kind of not getting me tight upset. You can't take the wrestling fans too serious. You can't take people too serious. Like, it's whatever. It's a show. It's entertainment. I understand that. But I had to give my 2 cents to y'all. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is J Athletic Gaming, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.